let's get going. So we're here tonight to talk about, hi brothers and sisters, talk about our rights again. And what I want you all to know while you're watching is how to understand Yahusha's voice and the instruction he gives us by bringing scripture into the understanding. We've always got to check it with scripture. So something's happened. It's been a couple of days since we've seen the guys, and we're just going to go over the situation for a greater understanding about our rights as a group in Yahusha. And this is a global thing that everybody can do. So we just want to bring that in and have a bit of a discussion. Right, so I believe you've had a test, 𝗪𝗓, from Yahusha. And do you want to say anything? Tell us what you went through? Or do you just want to talk about the test? Do you see you've had a test?
Trying to think.
Were you burning? Did you get fire?
Yeah.
Okay, so who got the fire?
Me.
So,
that was before the last video we did.
oh, the last video. No, I just mean about the eggs. We're talking about the eggs.
Oh, the egg situation. Okay, yes.
So, did you burn? Did you get fire because of that?
Yes.
Who had the fire?
Me.
So, that's Yahusha giving you like a test, I believe. So do you want to explain what you went through and what you did after the talk we had on the last video? After that, you were tested to see if you would do something.
Well, I was going shopping after the last video because I needed stuff, and Victoria said that she was unable to get any eggs, and I said, I'll see if there's any, and if I can, I'll get you some.
Yeah.
Which I did.
Yeah.
I messaged later that evening, and of course it's pouring rain, and I said, oh, I got you the eggs. They're at home on the table.
So did you do that in the night or the next day?
I'd messaged Victoria that night.
That night, right.
That night, and it was pouring rain.
Yeah.
And
It was a big storm, wasn't it?
It was.
Whoa.
Very big.
I said I was going to go over and get them, but Chris said, no, it's too wet.
Yeah.
Don't do that.
Well, I wasn't worried about it, and then I didn't even think about it the next day.
Mm-hmm.
I had, because of the rain, I had to drop Robert at school and take his car for repairs, which was already booked for over a week. So
Yeah.
I knew I had to do that. So I'd just forgotten about it. And then when I got to the salon, I think
Was there a specific time you had to do that for Robert?
I dropped Robert at school at just after 7:30 because I was supposed to have the car to the repairer at 7:30.
Was there a specific time that you had to drop Robert, or you just did it yourself?
Well, because of it being so wet,
Yeah.
he couldn't ride his scooter.
Yeah. Cool.
So I had to take him to school, and I had to take his car at 7:30. So I took him and then straight to the mechanic with his car. So I had an appointment at 7:30 to drop the car off.
Yeah.
So it was already booked for a week.
Yeah.
So I had no choice. I had to do that. So I said to him, come on, let's go. Dropped him off and straight up.
I messaged you when you were doing that, I think.
I'd literally just
No,
got
she
into the
was at
salon.
Oh, right.
I'd just got into the salon when you messaged me.
Yeah.
And you said, oh, maybe you could drop them. And that's when I said to you, I'm already at the salon.
Yeah.
Because I had to drop the car and I didn't have
Yeah.
a car.
That's it.
So I was at the salon, had clients coming in, and I couldn't take them. But I said to Victoria, they're on the table. I wasn't expecting her. No, I wasn't expecting her to.
What'd you say, Mark?
Come and get him.
I didn't say anything like that, and you can check the messages. You're more than welcome. I said they're sitting on the kitchen table.
It's not like you're wrong. It's just an understanding.
Yeah, well, if you wanted to pick them up, because Victoria said, oh, I'll pick them up.
Yeah.
So I let her know they're on the kitchen table along with the rinse-aid because we no longer had a dishwasher. So anything that I didn't need, I was giving to Victoria because you guys have these things. So I'd left them on the table, and then I was doing clients, and then Mark walked in and said something along the lines of,
Oh, we're back at the salon now.
yeah, and
A
Mark
couple of hours later.
Yeah, because I was busy with clients. So, Mark walked in and turned around and said to me that you told me I could shove the eggs up my ass. And I was
Thanks,
like,
Mark.
Straight away.
like,
Not straight away.
what the hell?
It was part of the summation.
Well, that's what you came in with.
What did you
Christopher
say?
said you can
when
shove your eggs up your ass.
There were a lot more things.
What did you say?
Expecting somebody to
Excuse
come
me.
out.
What did you say to her
When you walked in.
when you walked in? We're just getting your
Was
side
she
now.
Was she on a client or?
No, she was in the kitchen.
Oh.
In the kitchen.
And what did you say to her?
I said,
Now it's all about hearing Yahusha's voice,
yeah,
comparing it with scripture,
yeah,
right? That's what it's all about.
yeah. The spiel went something like, got a call from Victor and I've just taken the eggs over for her because it's pouring rain and you didn't even take the eggs over for her.
Mm-hmm.
You did this nice thing and just left them there. It's a pouring rain. They're old people. You know, you know. Christopher said you can shove them up your ass. He's not coming under all that, you know. So, and then
What do you mean by he's not coming under all that?
the pressure of them there, the pressure of having to go and do something and recognise the good thing Teresa's done and, you know, centering it on herself and, you know. Anyway, so I told her that and she said, I said, no. She I did this and I said, yeah, but you didn't do it. I went and got them out of the good, yeah, but you didn't do it. You didn't deliver them. If you hear something from Yahusha and it is a good thing, it was lovely what you did, but you didn't do it. I said, I didn't even know anything was going on. I got a call this morning and took them straight over and Victor made me breakfast. We had a lovely time of love and kindness and, you know, wonderful family. You could have had that, you know, like.
Oh, she couldn't because she had to get the car in. She was working.
Either way, I'm just saying when you do.
Exactly. He's right. I couldn't have had that because I had an appointment at 7:30. So
He's
how could I have done
He's just
that?
telling you the lovely time he had. Probably.
Yeah, of course.
Okay, well, just understand.
We're explaining this to the people so they can see the vein of the
Hi, brothers and
flow.
sisters. This is wonderful.
Yeah.
So they can see the test
Reality.
and the reality of
Yeah, good.
what happens and
All
how
for it.
Yeah.
So she was getting angry about it. I said, just settle down, you know.
No, because of the way you actually said it was what I got angry about. Like, you knew I had the appointment with Robert's car and it was early in the morning. How am I supposed to drop Robert at school and get the car to there by 7:30 and drop eggs off?
Easy. It's in a big loop.
Oh, and then stay for breakfast too, according to you. Oh, you're supposed to stay and have a chat too.
Let her
I
go.
think this voice
She's
is
got to
gonna
be free.
be free, but the voice is not going to
Let her go.
And keep in mind, I didn't have clients that morning, and I'd been doing stuff half the night. I was planning, I'd roll over to go back to sleep. Victor would wake me up. I had no idea what was going on. I'm innocent in this situation. I just heard that there were eggs there.
But
I'm having it. I'm having it.
Well, you can have it, but is it true?
Yes, it's true. Because I just heard I heard Victor say, "Can you bring him up?" Well, it was the same decision. Are you coming out? Do you want to come and get him? She goes, I'm not coming out. So, well, I'll come and get him. In fact, I'll go and join Therese at work and I'll come to you on the way. So I did. And so I just delivered the message to you. So feel free to throw it all at me, but I have nothing to do with this at all.
Did you deliver the message?
This was between...
You delivered the message, so therefore you do have something to do with it.
Okay. If this is part 2 and you need to throw me under the bus, I'm ready.
What's the message?
I'm ready.
What's the message you're talking
I'm such a
about?
martyr, aren't I?
Did you believe?
It's so
did you
excessive.
The
deliver
message to shove the eggs up my ass.
Yeah. So you said that 3 times?
Yeah.
Because that was his main point of it all.
No, I said it quickly at the beginning before I said everything else.
That's not what you took personal.
That was what I took personal, yes.
And what did you take personal when he said it? Was it personal against me or against the way he said it?
The way he said it.
Yeah, of course. It's not that Christopher said it to you.
If Christopher had rang me and said
What
to
you
me,
did.
shove your eggs up your ass, I would have gone,
Said it 4
excuse
times.
me.
Hey? That's the 4th time, yeah. So I said to Mark to tell Therese what she just said.
Yeah.
See, they won't say it either.
He said it with a smile on his face, in love. But
Mark didn't come in and say it like that, though.
I did. But you were very angry.
So
We'll blame the
what
messenger.
do you understand about this, Therese?
I should have delivered the eggs. Yes, I understand
Yeah,
that.
why?
Because that's the right thing to do.
You know,
But I couldn't do it at that time because I didn't have the car. So, what could I have done?
you want to know?
Rung and said, I'll deliver them on
Do
the
you
way
want to
home.
know what you could have done?
What could I have done?
Well, what we want to talk about is hearing his voice. So he says, those that bless you, I will bless them.
Mm.
So whatever you guys do for us, you'll get a blessing
Yeah.
for it. Vice versa, of course.
Mm.
So that's something we understand,
Mm.
right? That's the foundation
Mm.
of hearing his voice and knowing our rights.
Doing
Yeah. So when you heard from Yahusha a good thing to do,
Mm.
and he wants you to have a blessing, okay? Might not have come in a breakfast sort of thing, but it comes in other ways. So what's our favourite scripture that we always go to when Yahusha gives you a message to give to someone?
The
Do it immediately.
yeah, but the words of
Proverb.
the words of a faithful messenger.
Now listen to this, say it so the people can hear.
The words of a faithful messenger are like snow on a hot day.
Snow in the harvest time.
Yeah.
What's the harvest time?
Hot.
Labouring.
Laborious.
Yeah. So the words that you bring to somebody is like,
Great refreshing.
and refreshes the
Being.
spirit, the heart
Being.
of the person you're bringing it to.
Mm.
Yeah.
Right? So If you hear him, you need to bring scripture to prove it to you. And there's another scripture that says, walk the extra mile. So the whole point is to get it right, so you get your, yeah, right? Not that you're seeking a blessing, but you obviously heard him, and this is about hearing his voice, very important.
Yeah.
Hearing his voice, bring it into scripture, and you can see, yeah, that's the right thing to do. Right? So when you hear it, he says, walk the extra mile. So would it have been really hard for you to make a little 5-second trip out of your way? Really? I mean, in the car from school to here and then back up there. Is it?
No, it wouldn't have been.
Yeah, that's
but
right.
I didn't.
It's the way you're receiving the message and what you do with that message, right? So you got the message, you did half the job, and then you decided to make up well, you were doing it anyway, but this is your excuse of all the other things you had to do rather than go the extra mile. So you made up your mind to have a story where you could be right because you've interfered with what he gave you. And obviously you didn't. You have heard us talk about these scriptures. But when you hear something from Yahusha, you've got to follow it through. You followed it through, did it, and it would have been lovely. And if you brought it around, oh, what a lovely surprise. And you missed out on all that love and kindness, and you're doing something, and, you know, we can respond to you. Oh, that's lovely, Terrain. You missed out on getting all that because you interfered and wanted to work this out your way. And you made up all the excuses. Now, why would you even have to make up excuses?
They weren't excuses, they are actually truth because that's what
No, I'm
I
not
had.
saying that, Connie. I'm not saying that. You're not open to this. You've got to be open to the truth. You've made up those reasons why you didn't follow through, and it's to do with you and Yahusha. You know, it's not to do with us. And that's, you know, it was pouring, raining, and I thought, oh, you know, what's she doing this for? Why is she playing this game? What's this all about? You know, why can't she just hear and flow and fit it in to that little routine she had? And then you don't have to make all excuses. Then you don't have to raise your voice. You don't have to go through all this anger and attitude and do to your husband what you did after what we talked about the night before on that video. About loving. You just dropped all that and you had attitude to him and you made him feel dreadful. And we've been waiting to hear from him, which he never got through to us, how you went with this. See, so it's just a lesson to understand. Can you understand what I'm saying to you, or do you want to fight for your rights again? That you were right and we're wrong.
I understand exactly what you're saying.
Okay. So it's to do with listening to his voice, bringing scripture to it to prove it to you that that's what he said to you. You heard him, but you didn't follow through. And you could have organised that morning, you know, it's only a couple of minutes out of your way, but you missed out. You not understanding what you're bringing to people from him. you're carrying a message. So when he gives us a message, there's always a blessing on the other end of it, you know, to do something. So he gave you a job and you interfered and wanted to muck around and make it into a stressful situation for everybody. And then you can't do anything because you're in the salon because you haven't got a car. It's like a setup. And I'm sure if you're doing that sort of thing to us, you're doing that in your life in lots of areas. And we have rights. If you're not doing those things, would you have gone through the burning that you got, the fire? If you didn't do that and you followed through, would you have gone through the fire?
I only started going through the fire.
I just answer the question. Would you have gone
I
through?
wasn't going through fire before Mark turned around and said what he said.
No, of course you weren't, because you've enjoyed what you did. That's a setup. And it's inconvenient for everyone. And you enjoyed creating chaos. You've enjoyed it. That's what everyone does, especially women coming out of the world into this, into the vein.
Yeah.
Yeah, or not? Is that in your personality to stir up a bit here and there, Dane? Yes or no?
Sure.
So who are you listening to do that?
Spirit in my flesh.
Yeah, so he didn't want you to get
Anything.
what you get if you give to us, because we're in Yahusha, and you do something for us that Yahusha tells you, what's he going to give you after doing that?
Blessings.
Vice versa.
Yeah.
If the shoe was on the other foot, same thing.
Yeah.
Now, when I had to go around to your place for a year, and I was continually there teaching your families, did I complain? Did I make chaos? Maybe the truth of the word that came through made chaos, but I don't go there intentionally to make chaos, do I? Okay. So can you see the point of what the flesh wants to do, what the spirit in your flesh wants to do with situations that Yahusha will give you? Yeah? And so after what we talked about the night before about loving each other, what was your behaviour after you went through this?
I just shut up. Didn't bother talking to anybody.
How did you treat him? Because you didn't want to face it. You could have even rung us and said, what's going on? Like, you've got rights. What do you mean by this? And I would have told you, because I told him. And I would have told you. You missed out on a blessing, though, because you want to play games with Yahusha. Because in your character, you have dug your heels in so many times and not wanted to be obedient to Yahusha. Yeah? So you know he gave us a mandate. You're not even making any sort of effort to do that. You dug your heels in and said no. And we all talked about the fact, and you agreed, that's the mandate he wants us to do. So we want to put it out there so people can have it. And this is part of the whole situation, so we know we're hearing his voice. We put scripture to it. Yeah, I've got that. And we follow through. We've got to train ourselves to do what the scripture says, because there's no one that we know that's doing this.
No.
So we're trying to bring you into the right behaviour and tell you the rights you have. Okay? So how are you feeling after this? Do you feel like it's fair or not? You can say whatever you want to. You do when you're angry, so you may as well say whatever you feel like, what you really, really feel. It's all right. It's cool. We've got to love each other and understand each other, haven't we? Isn't that what Yahusha wants?
Yeah.
So our obedience, because we don't own ourselves, is to him. And he wants us to follow through. Mark didn't ring us back, and it's a known thing between us. If something's going on, he should ring and fill us in so we can pray or we can,
I don't stop him from calling you, so
I didn't say you did.
No, I said to Victoria today, if I don't call, it's because nothing happened.
Yeah, but he still didn't follow through and said
That's
nothing
true.
happened.
That's true.
And I would have questioned him and said, well, how did you say it to Therese? I would have wanted to question him and say, if it's not, it should work. And I told him all the information. You could have just taken it in and said, oh, I can see, I understand.
It wasn't the information.
Did he explain it to
he
you?
didn't give me everything that you've just told me.
Yes.
He only gave me, I went over and I had breakfast and I.
Yeah.
And Christopher said you can shove the eggs up your ass.
Yeah.
It was hard to give you all the information while you were walking away from it so many times.
I was actually standing and washing dishes and putting stuff away and making a coffee. So I wasn't walking away.
You worked over there, you walked over there. I had to keep following you about 3 or 4 times to get my point across. But you don't accept my point, because you don't accept anything I say.
Well,
That's fine.
she's saying the way, it's not what you do, it's what
It's
you
the way
say.
you
It's
say
not
it,
what you say, it's what you do.
Yeah.
I
She's
understand.
saying the feeling you put on her
Yeah.
set her off.
I
You
understand.
might have been having a bit of fun,
I
Mark,
understand.
were you? I mean, if we're going to be real,
Oh, yeah, I wanted you to see and to receive the message that I received, because it made me happy, and I thought it would make her happy too. You could have fitted it in here, we could have done it later.
well,
you
you
could
know
have
that wouldn't,
communicated.
I even know that wouldn't make Therese happy,
Well,
but I know that she's got guts and she sees the truth.
yeah,
And she said you didn't explain it to her.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm sorry.
I did.
man. I'm sorry. I wasn't a faithful messenger.
but all in all, it's a really good lesson. So we understand why Yahusha brings fire on
Yeah.
us.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Now, she hasn't had a lesson like this. She heard Yahusha tell her to do something nice. She put her own terms on it. Then you come over, we talk about it, and you're going to let her know the whole situation. Obviously, you blew it.
No, I let
She-
her know all the information.
Yeah, but not loving your wife. She blew a step.
I was explaining.
So do you want to just totally blame her? So you don't
Oh, I see what we're
recognise-
doing. Sorry, I get it now. I'm sorry, Alan. I didn't deliver any of it. I didn't deliver it in love.
Cut off.
Didn't deliver it in love. I wasn't
Well, why
touching
didn't
you.
you?
I wasn't touching
Why?
you.
Why didn't you?
That's 2 yelling now. Can I yell too?
Yes, you can.
Oh,
You
wonderful.
want to.
Oh, yeah.
But you're over talking, being totally rude, making excuses for yourself, trying to win her to your point of view, not being real.
Sounds good.
And she said you didn't present it to
Of
her
course I did.
the right way. You wanted to get her. She's not a fool. You obviously did it to her.
Yep.
Otherwise, she wouldn't have reacted
Completely.
the way she did. So why are you doing that?
I wanted to
And you
get her.
didn't ring us to let us know
No.
because of what you did.
Yeah.
See? And we're talking about coming together,
Yeah.
loving your wife.
Yeah.
And you already told Victor today you're hating her guts.
Yeah. Pretty much.
So I said to Victor, he's lost the plot. He's gone off. Something must have happened,
Yeah.
obviously, the way you told her. See, so you've got to carry
Yeah.
the message that Yahusha gives you right. So
Faithfully.
you're refreshing her. You're refreshing her spirit and lifting her up.
Yeah.
Obviously, you
I
didn't do that. You wanted to do it
My
your
way.
way, the way she wanted to stuff around with the message too. You stuffed around with a message too and wanted to do it your way because you wanted to stir her up.
Yeah.
You want to get her back.
Yeah.
So, and we're talking about how a man should love his wife. That's what we're talking about. You come in here and you're already angry. So you're trying to set me up. So I can see something's wrong, needs to be fixed. That's why I called you and said, let's come over and do a video on it and be real. Let's go through this so we come out with the truth, with love.
Absolutely.
And understanding. You're fighting, you've been fighting. I think you've settled down now, haven't you? You understand the whole thing. Do you agree or not? You probably didn't realise.
No, I didn't.
Yeah.
I wasn't.
No, I'm just saying you probably didn't realise you had to follow through and walk the extra.
Well, that's the thing. I wasn't thinking that morning because
Yeah,
I
but
already
you pulled
had.
no excuses. You made all your excuses for what you wanted to do. But you've got to pull the truth, pull the scripture in, and you've got to review it. What he's actually saying to you. Because he wants us to work like this together. And we're sharing it with the brothers and sisters who are watching us. We want them to understand about the spirit in our flesh controlling us and disturbing everyone and everything around us. And we have to get self-control and not let anything like that come out of us towards each other. So if Mark's over talking me and angry at me, what's he showing? Obviously, that's out of order. So Yahusha wants order, like you want order from the kids. You've got to do the order as well. Yeah?
Yeah.
So how do you think I feel towards you?
No problem towards me.
Yeah. I just want you to have the best. Put a lot of work into our relationship.
I know when that came out of his mouth, that you were only mucking around. As I said, it wasn't given, the whole information was not given to me. It was only bits and pieces so that I'd get angry. That's all it was.
And so that's what you did, and you went at him.
Yeah.
What should you have done?
Let him have it. Just let him have it.
Yeah, and
then gave you a call.
so what's going on? Just be that real. You've got every right to ring us and say, what's going on? Mark just came and told me blah, 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 blah. I would have explained it to you quickly over the phone like I explained him to give to you to refresh you because I know you love the word. And once you can see this, how do you feel now about listening and bringing scripture to it? How do you feel about that?
Yeah, I should have.
Yeah.
But now,
Wakes you up.
are you going to? Are you going to do it now? And you'll get up?
Listen.
Yeah. So that's how we have to listen to him and follow through and walk the extra mile. Add it to our routine. Put Yahusha in first. And you probably wouldn't have even thought that thought. I'm going to do what Yahusha told me first. I'm going to make sure that gets there. Shouldn't be up to us to go and pick it up. Oh, in the rain, forget about it. It's madness. Stick it up your ass. You know? That's my attitude. I don't want all that fuss coming into my home. You know? All these little games you want to play. And
I thought next time Victor pops over with a video or whatever, I'd give him to her then. That's what I thought.
okay, that's fine. Does that mean you're trying to get out of it, or should you face?
No, I'm
You're facing it.
I'm saying that's what I thought.
Yeah.
No, that's not the way that I should have been thinking. I should have just grabbed the eggs before I left, but I was in a rush and I do apologise. I'm
That's
sorry.
fine.
No problem.
That's lovely. It's wonderful. You get your blessing now because you
I'm
apologise.
sorry.
It's okay. But it doesn't mean you're under us or anything. I want the best for
Yeah.
you. So you know what he expects of you to carry a message. It's like
Snow.
snow
in
in
the
the middle of the harvest. It's a very hot time, everyone's sweaty. But it's a refreshing that you're going to give to somebody. And that's how he works. And he wants you to see that's how he wants you to work with everybody. And each. So you're going to tell the truth now?
Yeah, I would like to actually.
Yeah.
I went to the salon really high after being here. I wanted to bring you into the high. I sat there in the office, I touched you, I looked into your eyes, and I just explained to you when Yahusha gives you something to do, which he
This is
did.
what really goes on, brothers and sisters.
Keep
See how
going.
it's funny while I'm talking? It's laughable.
We're listening.
I was high, and after trying to explain my heart and everything that had gone on that morning to you, you gave me zero response. You yelled at me, growled at me, made me feel like absolutely nothing, like I can't even deliver a message, because that's how you take anything that I say to you, because you're better than me, and you're dominant. So I just had to die in the bum. And instead of running and crying and ringing up, I just let it slide. Let him deal with you next time he sees you. Thank you for dealing with him, because I can't. I know what I went in there to do. I delivered a message. I even touched you, looked in your eyes, cuddled you, made a few jokes, kept it light. You would not have it. So I went from being high to being broken. The rest of my day was just depressing.
Until now.
And so I just have to look at how much voice I have. And that's when I faced it with all the children, and I faced it with you. Zero power, zero rights, zero impact. Victor says, no, it goes in. It really affected her. Bullshit. I know, she says, as a woman, when my husband speaks to me, I don't let him have it. But, well, okay, I can believe that.
Can't you see she's had fire?
Yeah.
Well.
And we got on with life, but I'm just looking at, you have power over me, You think I have power over you and you've got no rights. You have just as much power and rights over me. You have power to make me feel like nothing. And you love,
versa.
and vice versa. Absolutely vice versa. I did not go in there that morning to hurt you. I wanted to help you.
Can I come in? Or have you finished? Or
I was done. I'm done.
Okay, so we have two conflicting ideas.
Yeah.
Between a husband and wife. You're wanting her to receive you.
Yeah, it's pretty stupid, isn't it? I can
No.
see how stupid it is as you're
No.
saying it.
No, it's all about love.
Yeah.
So we have two conflicting ideas
Mm.
that only you two can work out. So can you come to an agreement on this and be reasonable?
I understand what my reputation is with you because of all the things I've said and done and treated you over the years. I know what my reputation is. That's why I say very little, especially if it was to a direction or advice. I say very little to you because my words are not trustworthy to you because of my behaviour.
Excuse me, Mark.
But I was given something.
I was actually pointing to Therese to come through. Two of you come at loggerheads. Now, can you both be reasonable and work this out? You don't have to explain everything. You know what's happened. She's saying you did one thing and you're saying you did something else. So can you come to terms with what the truth is? Otherwise, you're going to be at loggerheads.
Truth is, I was perfectly fine until you came into the salon and said what you said, and you did it
Because it upset you.
to make me angry. the way you did it was to make me angry. It wasn't to help me. It wasn't for me to see anything. It was on purpose to make me angry.
Is that the truth or is she lying?
It's not the truth.
Well, what's your truth that she needs to understand?
We all agree that Christopher delivered the message to you in love even tonight, and you fought him to have your rights and your innocence. So what hope did I have? Wouldn't have mattered how I delivered it. But I know how I delivered it. But my point is, you didn't want to see it because you had a busy morning with all your things in it, and you'd done a good thing for them, and how
Don't
dare
say
they?
too much. Can you work it out
Simple.
between the two of you? Can you understand how he's talking to you, Therese? Is what he's saying right or not? Real easy answer, yes or no. What do you think?
I think he came in there to try and make me jealous and angry.
Right? You've got something to say to her. You know, this is how you work it out. You communicate.
I didn't want to make you jealous.
But when you turn around, you could have had this and you could have had
You
that.
could have had it.
But
You could have.
you don't realise that that's how you make a person angry, by saying you could have. It's the way you say things sometimes. Oh, I took those eggs for you over to Victoria, darling, and she was really grateful. Christopher turned around and said you could shove them up your ass for making old people go out. I would have gone and laughed. But you made a point of you could have had this and you could have had that.
That's very
So-
true, Dan.
To make
Blessing.
me angry.
Yeah.
That's very true.
That was what you were making the point of.
You're right, darling. I had an
So
ulterior
did
motive.
you do it to her
Yeah.
like that?
I did it on purpose.
Why?
I guess I was just sick of you doing things your own way, because it was just one of many times. So I guess I wanted to get you. I have to face the truth. I wanted to get you, and I used the whole situation.
Oh, Marky.
It's dreadful, isn't it? I took Yahusha's
Do you
message.
believe what you're saying, though?
I don't believe what you're saying.
No,
I'm sorry.
do you believe what you're saying?
Yeah, I believe what I'm saying. I wanted to get it
You're not. Oh, did you? Why do you want to get her?
because there's so many times when I'll say, let's do A, B, C, and D, because I'm looking at order and routine and timing and clients and timing and everything's timing and everything in life's timing, and so I'll just say, like, let's do this and this and this and this and this, and I'll find out she's done it the opposite way. Which, hey, you're free to do it whatever way you want, but I think, well, that would have been better if you'd done it this, and this. So,
Well, that's what you need to communicate to her and ask, what about this? What about that? That's what we've had to do
Oh.
with everything,
It's been
and
insane.
it's so hard.
It's so
Oh.
insane.
But then we have to bring the word into it
Mm.
and put the word to it so that it's like shining a torch on it, and it shows you through the word what's the better way.
Yeah.
But if you don't come into that sort of communication with each other, I mean, we've only got a certain amount of time. You've got to get to love each other.
Mm.
And it's not far off if you just give in.
yeah, I have a
You're
bad
not
habit.
letting her have it. She's not letting you have it. What? What were you going to say?
I just have a bad habit of trying a couple of times and then I just go, inside myself, I've judged, I've walked away.
Well, you've got to
Wrong.
stay. You've got to stay. Both of you have to stay in there with each other.
Yeah.
And you'll be really happy once you look at the word,
Yeah.
not just our thoughts and feelings, because that's what?
Spirit in my flesh.
Yeah,
Mm.
that's dominating you both.
Yeah.
It has to get out of your lives. So the word is more prominent in everything you do.
Mm.
You're walking on scripture
Yeah.
because you're safe. It's right. Once you both agree, see, that's same thing whether you believe Yahusha is Alahim.
Mm.
Mm.
It's the same thing as that. Is this the right way we're walking? Walk on the word.
Yeah.
Are we walking right? Oh, this or oh, that. You communicate. Do you think this is the right thing to do? So can you overcome this with him?
I wanted to get him. So.
You've got any questions for him about that?
Why?
Because I heard how it all played out, and I was having a bit of deja vu, and I just went, oh yeah, she does that. She does it her own way. She could have done it this way, could have done it last night, could have done it this morning, could have just rung and said, oh, we'll bring it later. You could have done it any number of ways, but you're thinking, see, Victor doesn't just go out and get stuff all the time, but she cooks everything. She ran out of eggs. So, she wanted them straight away, that's why she rang up. So, yeah, sure, I'll bring them over.
Oh, she didn't ring up. Trey's got the thought from Yahusha.
In the morning.
And that's our text her and see that I'll come and get them.
Which means she wanted to use them. So, sure, I'll bring them over. Well, you're doing it your way. So as somebody who's experienced you doing a lot of things your own way, in your own time,
Well, do you think
it's not fair to judge.
Do you think by what you've seen happen, what Therese did has come back on her? Can you see that's happened? And she got fire? But she had no idea really, because she wanted to do it her way.
Yeah.
But then she's shown something different.
Yeah.
She's going.
Yeah.
And I see you pleading with her
Of course.
to understand you. You're wanting her to give what you should be
Giving.
Yeah.
Say
Husband.
that bit again.
You're pleading with her to understand you.
Yes.
You're wanting from her where you should be.
I'm just giving her
Giving.
my understanding.
So you should be out of all this by now and
should
understand your place
Oh yeah.
as the patriarch
Understand that.
of the family.
Yeah.
You've got to make the right decisions and do things the right way to uplift your household. And obviously,
Yeah, I'm just
you're
learning.
not, because you're hurt and you want her to understand you instead of being willing to give her, understanding, because she wants it. She's the weaker vessel, she needs it.
Okay. I'm still learning that everything's arse up with you, sure it's the right way.
Well, of course it is, because the world's the opposite to the word.
Patriarch doesn't lead from the front, it leads from behind, humble, not. I get it.
Well, you should be satisfied in Yahusha and trusting him enough to rectify the situation that you want. So when she comes to give it to you, it's wonderful because it's real. If you're trying to make her understand so you get it your way, yourself.
Yeah, that's true.
What's the difference with the eggs?
It's the same.
So you should be through this where you're not wanting that, but you're trusting and believing in Yahusha that it's there.
Yeah.
Because his heart's in her and it will come back. So you shouldn't be looking for what's already there and trying to make it happen because it's what a desire you have in you to make her give in to you.
That's
It
true.
doesn't come that way.
No.
You really have to give before you receive. That's a principle all through Scripture, about every Scripture, isn't it?
Yeah.
You want something from him. He says, well, I want something from you first.
Yeah.
Who's got the right?
Yeah.
You or him?
Him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I can see that.
You got to understand your place with him.
Yeah.
And understand it, you should know it and just give it to him. So it means you're living in an independent way. Did you carry the message right to Therese?
No.
Oh. So you get what you got.
Yeah.
What you reap, what you sow,
Yeah.
you'll reap.
Reap it in spades. I get it.
So why did you want to get her and hit her?
Because I'm still upset that
Judgments?
judgments, and I'm upset at what my reputation is in her eyes. You and I can both give her the same message and she'll leap for joy when you give it to her, but me, who supposedly loves her and brought her in the first place to Yahusha because I've spent so long wrestling and hating and in drama with her and the kids and everybody,
You're
It's
wanting
shot.
her to give in. Whereas
to trust me, but she can't.
it's your job to give her what you want from her.
Yeah.
As you said, it's all,
I can see that now.
Yeah.
You got to give it instead of wanting it.
yeah.
And yeah, I guess if you don't understand or don't believe what I'm saying, I guess that's the situation when you get on the phone.
Ask her why, when I explain her, she can receive it, and when you explain it, she can't. Ask her.
Because Christopher doesn't want to get me. And I know that.
Mm.
I can't trust what you say.
I can see that.
Just can't.
I understand.
Because every single time there's an ulterior motive with you. To rip me to shreds, hurt me, make me feel like a complete dog, like I should just go get back in the corner, stay down and let me kick you some more.
How do you feel about that, Mark, that your wife's saying that to you?
Dreadful. It's a horrible thing to do. I'm sorry. Sorry.
Can you understand why Amy did what she did,
Okay.
now that you've experienced this more?
Yes and no.
Yeah. Well, he did the same thing to her. And I don't think in my heart that you've said you faced it, but I don't think you really have inside.
Mm.
Because if you're doing the same thing to Therese,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah. Yes.
I think you've got to get clear
Mm.
of all the things you keep and carry and hold. You've got to clear. And the best person to talk about it is Victoria.
Yeah.
No.
You can
Why?
talk about it yourselves. I've had to go through all these issues and everything with Victoria
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Of course.
and clear it.
Yeah. I see.
Vice versa.
Yeah.
So you've got to be there for each other. Satan wants to break up every marriage.
That's
We've
true.
certainly experienced that attack on you,
Yeah.
and the spirit in your flesh
Mm.
is working against each other,
Mm.
and you're not recognising.
Mm.
Mm.
It took the message like it took half Teresa's message.
Mm.
She didn't know. You did, but you did it another way, which is very cruel,
That's me.
and that can only point to what? Can you see what emotion you have to be cruel to her? What emotion is in you to do that? Can you see that?
Yeah.
What is it?
Oh,
What's your emotion?
anger. Let's say.
No, can you go a bit deeper? What are you carrying in your heart?
Hatred.
Hmm?
Hatred.
Hurt.
Yeah, but it's a bit deeper than that. Yeah,
Hurt.
you got it. You got it.
Hurt. Oh, yeah. Hurt.
You're carrying hurt.
Constant.
Hurt has
Wrecked me.
come into your harbour,
Yeah. Yeah.
and you've allowed it to
Yeah.
port itself.
Mm.
You're keeping it.
It
It's
eats
true.
you away if you leave it there. It just
Yeah.
destroys.
I suggest that
Mm.
the two of you sit down and you investigate what the hurts are,
Mm.
because you're the only one that can heal that, I think,
Yeah.
through Yahusha's spirit. Talk to him what they are
Yeah.
so that you won't get, and he can see the gentle side that we see.
Yeah.
Victor told Mark today that we love Therese very much. We think she's great, she's spunky, she's great.
Mm.
Good for you, Mark, to
Absolutely.
have that.
Mm.
But the spirit in his flesh is trying to do something else, and you have to be aware. You're not going to be aware of it. You've got to challenge it by, what have you heard about, darling? Open up, share it, and let him go. Because, you know, when Mark gets into one of these little rambles, he goes and goes and goes. Am I
Like an
right?
energizer bunny.
Eh?
Like an energizer bunny.
Yeah. Okay, brothers and sisters, I think we'll leave it there.
Yeah.
Won't it be exciting to find out what Mark's hurts are?
Yeah.
Maybe Therese can do a little video herself and tell you what she
Yeah.
experienced.
Mm.
Love you. Bye.
Bye.